Hello, everybody. I'm glad to welcome you on Ketus educational platform at C++ Developer Open Day. My name is Pavel Filonov. I will be presenting to you our course for today. And at the beginning, just a little technical check with your little help. If you hear me well, if you see me well, if you see slides right now on stream, please chat plus sign using the Google YouTube chat, and I will check if everybody is okay here. And also, it's my way to check the latency in the stream. Okay, good. So, as I already present myself, my name is Pavel Filonov. Let me speak a few words about me. I have experience working in companies like Kaspersky and Positive Technologies. It's a well-known cybersecurity company. In the role of C++ developer, I was involved in developing large-scale C++ solutions for log processing, for industrial cybersecurity, for machine learning, actually. Right now, I'm working like an independent consultant in C++ and machine learning areas. I uh, help companies to check their business hypothesis using data and code. And I'm also instructor for the C++ developer course at Ketus. Our plan for today is to, for example, know each other. And after that, I suggest to speak a few minutes about Ketus. If you are not familiar with this educational platform, I hope it will be helpful for you, useful for you. After that, we will go to our course page and discuss important highlights about our course team, about ideas behind it, what concrete learning program do we suggest, what interesting parts of this program can be discussed. And with my personal opinion, I will highlight my favorites from it. At the end of today's open day, I want to show you important dates about our course. And also I suggest to finish this open day with Q&A section. So let's begin with introduction. I already introduced myself, and I will be glad if you will share a little bit about yourself. What is your name? What is your work experience in information technologies? What is your main goal for singing for this class or other classes possible for Ketus? Please write your answers using the chat. I will follow it and highlight interesting moments. A few rules about today's open day. Actually, we are online right now. The open day also will be available with recording, but if you are with us, please don't hesitate to ask any question during all my today's presentation. I will find the moments during it and answer it not just at the end of the open day, but during. And already I see some question. Is YouTube chat also monitored? Yeah, it's also monitored. So please ask anything you want. I see your question and I will answer it to you. And a little bit about Ketus, as I already discussed. The idea behind the Ketus educational platform is to connect the experienced developers and technical experts from all over the world with company employees who want to find a way to improve their developer skills, architecture skills, team lead skills, and any other areas which are interconnected with information technologies. Ketus have a different level of courses, the junior one, middle, senior, and even the lead position. For example, our C++ developer course that must be mentioned at the early beginning, it's not the beginner course. At our course, we already suggest what you have experience in programming using C++, and you just want to find the some easiest way to to find out best practices, to find out how to solve different problems, use modern tooling, use the ecosystem instrument, and so on. And that's the main idea behind the Ketus mission. It's to deliver those trainings where the practicing C++ developer can share their expertise and help anybody who wants to learn from the practice to save their time by learning from the examples from real experienced professionals. So, as I already mentioned, Ketus have a wide range of different courses for different programming languages, architecture, and so on. Today, we mainly will be focused on C++ developer course because I am also the leader of this course, and I and the course team would like to share our expertise with you about modern C++ techniques. If you are maybe already familiar with Ketus or it's the first time you hear about it, please share your experience using just this digit, place it in the chat. Maybe you already have completed some training with us, or you just heard about us, or you're new to Ketus and it's the first time you hear about it and see this open day. Actually, me and my colleague from the different courses will have this open day lessons during all start of our courses, and you can find them on our YouTube channel also. They all will be available in the recordings. So let's go to our course and learning program. And the main highlights I want to show on this slide is our learning process, which consists of different stages. And I think the main advantage of Ketus here is what all our webinars will be doing online. And you have this possibility about online live discussion with lecturers, ask the question on the topic about current webinar, or maybe just make a few steps before and ask the previous topics. Sometimes we have the different students with different experience. Sometimes even it's a good idea to ask something what will be discussed in future. All webinars will be online, but they will be recorded, and you also will be available to recap something from the video or to see the webinars you wouldn't be possible to join online. It's not all about only theory, because we want to share you a lot of practice, and we will provide some examples on our webinar with live coding techniques, but also I think the large portion of skills will be could be achieved with our home assignments. And also important topic here, that the home assignments will not be checked automatically. It will be checked manually, because when you just begin to learning language, all you need is just to pass the tests. But when you want to increase your experience in it, the good idea will be to have the code review process about your code. Yeah, your code, for example, may solve the problem, but it can be a little bit different one, a little bit more performant, a little bit more readability. This sometimes couldn't be checked automatically, maybe just using some modern instruments like ChatGPT and so on. But we still provide this good idea of manual code review by our C++ experts. Also, during the whole course, the group chats will be available, where you and your course members can discuss different topics, ask any question. Our lecturers also will be involved in this discussion and will help you to solve your problems, maybe with a home assignment or some practical examples you want to solve by yourself. This means when you start the course, you must allocate some time. For example, it will be just like 4 academic hours per week for classes, two webinars per week. And also it's a good idea to allocate about from 4 to 8 hours for your homework, also per 1 week. During the training, the program can be updated, but usually we have this good program already have the experience from upgrading it also during the course. So I see a few questions in the chat. Let me just highlight and answer them. The first one, after completing the course, will we also have access to partners with jobs available what we might make a good fit for. Yeah, you have this possibility because Ketus also provides some ideas about partnership. The partners can using, for example, Ketus platform. For example, if you want also to participate with techniques, you can share your CV using the Ketus platform. It will be available, for example, for Ketus partners. Also, sometimes it's a good idea, maybe on a final project, to get the partners to online webinars also. The second one from Omega, there is also a part-time option available for the course. No usual option. It's a full-time course. Yeah, actually, you have this possibility if you have only a time, for example, for one online webinar. You can visit it by yourself. And for example, the second webinar of the week, you can just watch using the recording. But I think if you will be able to join the both webinars per week during all 5 months, actually, it will give you a much more experience and skills which can be learned from the discussion, from reflection, from some little problem solving. Sometimes on the webinar, I suggest a little problem, for example, 5 minutes or 10 minutes problem, and the students try to solve them during the webinars. They ask questions, they have my feedback immediately, and I think this really improves the learning speed here. There. So I hope I answer your question. Thank you. Please ask one more. Sounds great. Think me up. I will provide the link for it. So right now I will switch from my slides to the Ketus course, and I can actually share the link with you, the chat. And I just want to highlight some important topics about our course. So first of all, our course is focused on middle plus specialist, and it means what we already have some pre-requirements for this course, and these pre-requirements will be tested during this entrance testing. It will just check your basic understanding of C++ syntax and some your possible experience with network programming and database communication. Our course will be for 5 months. It will be online. Today's schedule is Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. UTC +3. Here you can find the link to our short introduction, 1-minute introduction for me about our course, and it's also some prerequisites highlighted because we will be mainly focused not on the basic syntax of C++, but on modern standards and using its programming paradigms, for example, object-oriented paradigm, in building different design patterns. I already highlight how our learning process will be, and let me go straight ahead to our learning program. It has structures we call modules. In every module, we have the webinars on the different topics. And I will not describe maybe each topic because we have about more than 4,000 of them. But maybe I just will highlight some ideas behind the module structure and highlight my favorite topics inside it. First of all, we would like to suggest you to start with modern C++, where we will solve the following problem. Our students usually have a different experience and different levels in using C++ and even different standards experience. So the target for the first module about modern C++ is to somehow equalize them and to share the same understanding about which modern C++ features can be used and what problem will we solve. And in this model, we will be focused on tooling because, as you maybe already knew about C++, they have a lot of toolings and a lot of toolings problems, actually. And it's important not to hide them, but to show them and show these problems and how we solve them. For example, in our C++ course, we suggest to use CMake as a universal build tool, which are available for every operation system, and which can be used with any of modern C++ compilers. After that, we have the discussion about C++ 11 features, a comparison of C++ 11 with older standards, sometimes the idea of allocators, because usual C++ developer heard about it, but it's not a mandatory that anybody have the experience and he knows what problem actually allocator can help you to solve. After that, we also discuss the C++ 17 and C++ 20. We are also considering adding the additional webinar about C++ 23. But actually, it's interesting from the point of view of C++ evolution, but still it's not so common in practical usage. Why? Because even if we consider C++ 20 right now, right today, not each mainstream compiler, I talk about Visual Studio, GCC, and Clang, supports all the C++ 20 features. You have this sparse matrix of which features are support from what compiler and which features are not. The safe standard from my point of view for today is C++ 17. All modern compilers, the free one which I mentioned before, have already implemented all the features from C++ 17. But when we will speak about C++ 20, I will share with you this idea of a sparse matrix support, feature support in modern compilers. After this equalization of modern C++ between our students, we will go to the next big model, and it will be about architecture. Interesting point here, what it not be C++ only focused. Because, for example, when we'll speak about this famous gang of 4 patterns, design patterns, it's usually language agnostic sometimes. And you can implement them in different languages. But I think it's a good idea also to show how it can be efficiently implemented using C++. Because, for example, in C++, we have our own idioms, for example, pointer to implementation, resource acquisition is initialization, which are, for example, not be useful or couldn't be just sometimes implemented in our languages. But such universal patterns as observer or facade or abstract factory could be implemented in almost in any language. But this terminology is very important. It can be easily reused in programming languages. You can also use these pattern names to speak with your colleagues from another programming languages also. And that's why these design patterns are really important. It's some kinds of common language could be shared between different programmers. Also, at the last part of this architecture model, we will consider some C++ specific elements. For example, some specific containers and algorithms, how they can be implemented using these design principles, and also a little bit of inner structure of some kind of interesting data structures, which can be used from the standard library or, for example, from well-known Boost libraries. The next model will be about parallel computing. If you are interested in C++, you may be already familiar with this idea, but the C++ is the best choice when you need the maximum performance. It's the best instrument which can take everything from your CPU. And today, this means what it must be, it should provide us instruments to take the maximum from all of the cores. Because even the simplest laptop and desktop already have more than one core. And if we're speaking about some kind of servers, it's sometimes thousands and maybe in nearest future, even hundreds of separate cores, which we need to find the way to utilize all of those power, calculation power. And here, at the just early beginning, just a little recap about multi-thread programming, what modern C++ library provides us, which instrument it provides us to solve this multi-threading programming. But after that, we will discuss the multi-threading patterns, because they have their own different patterns. Also, words about asynchronous programming, because sometimes you need actually threads to do your work. Sometimes you need just some kind of simulate the simultaneously execution of different code parts. At the early stages of this model, we will be discussing log-free data structures and atomic data types. And I think the most hardest semantic idea of this memory models, because when we are dealing with atomic types, we have 4 different memory models. We can be used even for add to numbers, and it's a good idea to discuss what the difference, what will give us the maximum performance, and how we should avoid the popular bugs about this kind of programming. After parallel, we will go to network elements, and here the main idea is not to share this theory about network communication and protocol, but to share the practice about using modern libraries like the Boost Azure, POCO library, ZeroMQ library, and to see how the well-known network programming patterns can be implemented using these libraries. Also, it will be interconnected with asynchronous input and output, which also lead us to some kinds of understanding about what concrete system calls of different operation system can be used to multiplexing our network input output with thousands, hundreds, even dozens of thousands open sockets. Next model will be about storages. If you write any non-trivial application, even with C++, you will be dealing with databases. And here we want to share you a few examples about how we can use the concrete drivers, for example, for PostgreSQL or SQLite, or maybe how we can reuse such frameworks like POCO and to write some kind of database agnostic code. Also, it's important not to be focused only on relational databases for today, because in different situation, in different problem formulation, sometimes it's a good idea to use the k-value storage. Sometimes we should also consider the big data paradigm. And for example, if you knew this idea of MapReduce, the original white paper from Google employees about MapReduce framework was also discuss concrete realization inside the Google, and this realization was based on C++. Only after that, the open source realization, which well known today as a Hadoop, which are Java based, was the open source part. And sometimes it's also have this performance issues with it. One of the last models, it's actually my favorite ones. It's about C++ and machine learning. And here you may ask me a question. Wait a little bit. What about C++ and machine learning? Python is a machine learning language. All data scientists write Python code. What is the case with C++ here? And I will answer you the following. Yeah, you're right. All data scientists usually use Python to train their machine learning models. But why is that? Because in Python, you have all these great machine learning libraries, but all of them, actually all popular machine learning libraries written actually in C++, and they just have the Python bindings. This leads us to interesting idea. First stage of this machine learning is to train model, but after you train model, you need somehow put it into product. And we will mainly will be focused on this pattern about how we can, for example, leave the training model problem to data scientists with Python and any instruments they want. But from our C++ developer point of view, how we can integrate those models in our C++ product. What libraries should we use? What patterns? Should we maybe sometimes even rewrite some simple models? Because it's not actually a secret what the simplest machine learning models can be easily written using C++, and they will give a lot from the compiler optimization there. the final element of our learning program is actually not the main webinars and topics by us. It will be mainly focused on your working on final projects. The idea here is to maybe help you to came out with a possible idea about this project. It maybe consider something you are doing on work, or maybe some idea of pet project. I think the good idea here will be to re-implement some simple, well-known video game like Tetris, Asteroids Breakout, and so on. And our main goal here is to help you with code review, with ideas, to help you to solve the problems you will be facing actually writing something, to provide you with, I think, interesting element in your portfolio. And if you will be proud with your final project, I certainly suggest you to put the link on it into your CV. For example, I am also the hiring manager, and if HR sends me the CV with a link to GitHub to some projects, I may, for example, skip the certificates, link to certificates, but I will go to GitHub and I will learn a lot from the code of this possible employee. So that's the main stages, main modules of our learning program. I will be glad to answer any question about it if you want. Please ask me. If you want more details about concrete topics, you may also get the few syllabus here. Just press this button. And if you leave your email, you will be provided with this many-page PDF document with more description about each topic, what examples will be considered, what concrete skills you will achieve after this webinar, and so on. A little a little bit of words about our team. Here you can see all our instructors of this course, and I want to highlight the good idea about the following. When you have only one instructor per course, it's the simplest way and simplest idea what you only will hear about his experience and his view of C++. C++ is a large language. Nobody, I think, knew all the C++ for today. And it's not the best idea to learn only from one point of view. The good strategy here will be to see the different points of view, because all of us have a different experience in different areas of using such programming language. And I think when you will be seeing the C++ from different points of view, and each point will be provided by different instructor, this will help you to see the more objective picture of it. So I hope our team members will share the experience with you and help you to solve this large amount of problems if you would like to use C++ to solve some programming problems. I already say a few words about project work. Also, right now we have this stream, and you may be interested in our past events. On previous week, I also gave the open webinar. It's not the same format for today. It's mainly focused on the one topic, and this topic was about zero overhead principle. So if you are interested in it, you can also find the recording on YouTube on Ketus online platform. Please feel free to write any question or any comments using YouTube video. I also will check and try to answer it. Also, you can read reviews of our students from our course, and they share the the possible. Also, you maybe will find out some negative points there. So I think that's the main topics I would like to discuss with you about our course page, and I will return to our slides and to share important dates. Our course will be starting, I think, in June and July. If you want to know the concrete date, please use the landing page. It will be the correct there. And also, if you are interested in already past events, please visit our Ketus YouTube channel. There you can find the, for example, open lessons from different courses and also from our C++ developer course about C++ zero overhead principle. I think it's one of the most important principle in design in modern C++, which helps this language to stand on this position about the best language for performance problems. Uh, Thank you very much for joining. Also, your feedback is really important for us. So after any our online webinar, it's a good idea to ask some feedback with surveys, and this will not be the different one. Please provide your feedback with a survey, a link I just post on our YouTube channel. And I also will be glad to answer your question. I think I answered something during our today's webinar, but please feel free to ask more. Actually, we are at the end of our today's webinars, and the only thing which I left, it's your question and my answer. I will be waiting just maybe for 1 minute for it. And if there are no be any questions, it will be all for today. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Juliana. Any questions? I think not. So thank you for today for joining. Have a good day and stay C++.